Finiko is fast becoming one of my favorite companies, and yesterday I saw some news that I didn't like, and I was a little bit upset by it. Now currently the minimum purchase price is $1,000, and the message I saw said that that minimum was going to increase to $5,000 in the future, and I didn't like that at all. So me and my sponsor Vladislav had a chat. Now I'm lucky to have a very good sponsor like Vladislav. It's very important, guys, to choose a good sponsor. Someone that can help you and has your back. And that's what my sponsor did. He got in touch with his sponsor, and they got in touch with their sponsor, and on up the line it went until we reached the CEO, Kirill Doronin. Now Kirill is a very busy guy. He runs a very large business. So I was very surprised and very grateful that he agreed to talk about this change. So the people you'll see in this video are my sponsor, his sponsor, her sponsor, and the CEO. And then we're later joined by a professional translator. Now there are lots of videos on YouTube that feature the CEO, but they're mostly in Russian. Now this chat that we had lasts for an hour. I'm asking questions in English. Kirill answers a lot in English and is supported by a professional translator. So if you're interested in Finiko as a company and you want to get some insights into how the CEO thinks, how he strategizes, how transparent he is, how flexible he is, then I think this is a great video to start with. This is the kind of video I would like to have seen when I started researching Finiko. Now I'll quickly summarize the key points that we talk about. So the main goal of this talk was to discuss the possible change of the minimum purchase price from 1k to 5k. And the bottom line on that point is that it's not set in stone. He's thinking about it. And if it does happen, it won't happen for 3 months. And if it does happen in 3 months, it won't have any impact on existing customers. Now, interestingly, when we were discussing this change, he also looked at the possibility of having a minimum purchase price of $100. So having two packages, current one at $1,000 and a new one at $100. But this $100 option would get paid half of what the main CTI package currently does, so like 0.5% a day roughly, and would be paid weekly instead of daily. Now again, this is just discussions. None of this is set in stone, but very interesting options. And then Kirill talks about his vision to become one of the world's largest crypto banks and to achieve mass adoption of his debit card. So a lot of exciting plans and big visions. Now, Kirill has experience in running many large businesses in his past. And when you listen to him, you'll see what a sharp mind he has. You'll see how flexible he is and how open and honest and transparent he is. And I really like that. So I thought this was a great talk. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts in the comments below. Shall I just introduce myself first, because relationships are important. So just to let you know a little bit about who I am. Do you want to translate that, or?
Yeah, Гарри хочет представить.
Я слышу, я понял. Это пока понятно, да.
Okay, so I'm a YouTuber. I have quite a large audience. I'm always looking for opportunities that are honest and transparent. So everybody in this crypto space, anyone who invests in crypto has lost money because of scams, everything else. So I'm always looking for companies that are transparent. So do you need to translate any of this?
Понятно здесь все?
Ну, ищет честные и умные проекты, потому что честные, да, и потому что опыт со скамами и вообще все, то есть люди все, кто-нибудь что-нибудь потерял на рынке, особенно крипты и вообще все, что связано с инвестированием.
Okay, he understands.
Okay. So,
я чувствую себя, я просто спецанглийскую школу заканчивал, чувствую, что меня это, как будто тестирую сам себя. Я сейчас не женат, но влепит, блядь, опять двойку.
He remember like a school years, like he feels like he is in school, and it reminds him like he was in school, and now he'll get like a bad character for his English.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so if you don't understand, just say "Я не понимаю," and I'll pause and wait for the translation.
No, it's best. It's simple. I understand what you are saying.
Okay. So when I found Finiko, the fact that you are visible, and for example, like yesterday, you did a live stream with your senior team around you. The questions were terrible. There were so many difficult questions that you had to answer. And you sit there, you answer all the questions. You also do these live events where anybody can ask you any question. I've seen these videos. People come up to the microphone, they ask questions. Your team stands there and answers the questions. That level of transparency is very, very high. That's key. That's important. Понимаю?
Честно, мне надо расшифровать. Просто то, что про вчерашнее мероприятие я понял, что он подметил для себя.
Он говорит, что он увидел в вчерашнем мероприятии очень большую прозрачность. И для него, работая с разными компаниями раньше и сейчас, это очень важно. Чем больше прозрачности, тем люди больше доверяются и, конечно, всем нравится. Да. Yeah, he agreed.
Yeah. The second thing is the evidence of how you generate your money. So the trading evidence. So the fact that your traders traded on my account, my broker account, my Forex account, fantastic, great evidence. That's what people need to see. So when in order for people to trust Finiko, those two things are really important. Seeing the people behind, so it's a real company, real people, and evidence of trading. So that's really great. That's really great. That's the first important steps. Then there has to be the how things are. Sorry, I just realized I was going to talk about who I was first. Do you want me to tell you about who I am, or just carry on? You're on silent, Vladislav.
Ты хочешь, чтобы он продолжил, или чтобы он представил себя сначала? Или без значения? Да. Ты понимаешь, да, что он говорит сейчас? Он говорил про...
Давай, не буду перебивать, давай лучше это, иначе это каждый раз включать не да, пока все переводи. Я тебя остановлю, если что-то.
Значит, пока все понятно? Ты говори, когда что-то непонятно, потому что я тоже не понимаю, что ты понимаешь и что ты не понимаешь.
Я понял, поэтому давай договоримся, что ты все время говоришь, переводишь, а я тебя остановлю, если мне понятно. Вот.
Окей, да.
Потому что сейчас тексты усложняются, и то есть я понял, что он говорит, потому что доказательства торговли, раз, живые люди, реальные люди, живые и факты, проверка, в том числе на Forex счете и на то есть на собственном брокерском счете, это плюс.
Точно об этом.
Может быть, он что-то еще добавил, но я просто все остальное пропустил.
Okay, we keep going.
Okay, so yesterday Igor mentioned that there was a change where the minimum entry, the minimum price for investing in CTIs was going to change from 1,000 to 5,000. Could you talk about that change, please?
Gary, maybe you would like actually like his translator to come. Кирилл, когда ожидается твой переводчик придет? Он появится или без него будем?
Это наша Юля, Влад, ты ее знаешь. Сейчас она прям буквально 3 секундочки, она заходит. 3 минуты.
Окей, супер.
Окс, привет.
Привет, Кир.
Привет. Sorry, the question I was asking...
Разговор пошел за 30-5. Так?
Да.
Это я понял. Дальше.
Gary, the translator is coming in. Just
I understand. Gary, I understand. What about you say about the price of index CTI?
Yes.
Yeah.
From 100 to 5, from 1,000 to 5,000. Yes.
So,
am I right?
You're saying that it will. So at the moment, right now, it's 1,000.
Yes.
Are you saying that it will stay at 1,000 or?
No. The aim and the purpose of the company is not to become the greatest investing company. The aim of the company is to become the best crypto bank in the world.
Okay.
So I need to make such many customers as I can. Minimum as 1 million customers of my cashback cards and users of my crypto bank in Singapore. So I need to make an evolution, not revolution, evolution in banking processing using CPRON, CBS tokens and cashback cards. So investing is our practice to make good income from for the capital, for the assets. So it's our training.
Юля на связи, можем переводить.
Более адекватный англоговорящий человек.
Ага, что я тут. Всем привет.
Юля, привет.
Привет.
Ага, привет.
Да, мы тут на стыке цивилизации.
Привет, Кирилл. Привет,
Здорово.
Оксана, всем привет, да. Ага, я здесь.
So Kirill, я понимаю.
You understand?
Yeah. But how does that, so that's your vision of what you want to do. But what does that mean?
Видение, да? Правильно он спросил, Юль?
Да, он спросил, это ваше видение, да, но я должен понимать, что я должен делать.
Что я жду от партнера? От партнера я жду присоединения к стратегии использования компании ради создания собственного дохода. То есть, грубо говоря, он использовал свою территорию и наш продукт для собственного развития как денежного, так личностного, не знаю, бизнесового, предпринимательского.
So Kirill says that he waits from the partner the following strategy. The idea is that the person should be involved, should be joined in the whole process, having the idea of profitability. That means that the person should be involved in all the process, in the work, wanting to invest money and to get profit from it.
Of course.
В идее большого числа карт с маленькими деньгами.
So he said the idea of.
Идея большого числа.
Кирилл, что-то со звуком сейчас прям такая электронный такой звук. Можно еще раз? Не знаю, связи, наверное.
То есть, на мой взгляд, сейчас меня слышно?
Да, сейчас все прекрасно. Да.
Значит, когда мы говорим о большой прибыльности, я считаю, что гораздо больше денег можно заработать в большом числе потребителей с небольшими деньгами, которые естественным образом тратят деньги на свои покупки, на свои нужды, а особенно в условиях кризиса, который мировой сложится, нежели в инвестировании и просто сборе денег в инвестиции.
Okay. Kirill says that actually the idea of getting more money is the following. When the customers just are interested in buying, but actually if you want to get more money, investment, this is not the way, right? Кирилл, правильно поняла, да? То есть через какие-то общие потребительские, да, но не через инвестиционные процессы.
Да, там денег больше, потому что инвесторов меньше, чем просто пользователей карт.
He says that the number of people who use just the cards in order to customize, in order to buy, this number is just huge. But the amount of people who participate in investment is not that large actually.
At the moment, it's not big.
В данный момент, говорит, она не столь, в данный момент не столь большая. You mean the sector, right?
Okay.
You mean the sector of card holders? Is it the right idea?
Я могу сказать, что пакет стоимостью $1000, он сохранится минимум месяц, прежде чем мы вообще примем какое-то решение о его повышении стоимости до 5000. Просто основная идея была в том, что человек не инвестор, он может набрать $1000, но $1000 инвестиции по-честному не может являться. Ну, то есть это совсем маленькая сумма. Нам бы хотелось как раз и убрать возможные человеческие ошибки в том, что они на доход $1000 будут жить. Вот, возможно, для Европы это не самые большие деньги, да? Вот. Не смогут они на эти проценты жить. Но для большого числа людей это становится такой палочкой-выручалочкой, и это нечестно, потому что мы для любого человека являемся вероятностью 50/50 с точки зрения инвестиций. И это будет неправильно, если мы будем удешевлять вход, и нам пойдут неквалифицированные инвесторы. То есть сохраним этот вход.
Okay. So Kirill says that actually this period, $1,000 is okay for a month. So it's going to work. But in general, the idea of the company is different. So for a big investor, it is not that interesting to invest $1,000. That's why the idea of making this, the sum of money starting with $5,000 is more interesting for them, because a serious investor will be interested in a different sum of money.
Okay, can I just speak about that for a moment? So there's two things. So the first thing you seem to be saying is that your vision for your company is that you think that there's more people out there, more customers who are going to use cards, debit cards, credit cards. So there's a bigger, your business proposition for getting more customers and more money is through normal cards, because most people use cards, but not as many people invest using CTIs. Is that the first part of what you're saying?
Yeah. So actually, the basic idea is that the number of people who are just card holders is huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay. So you're trying.
Not all the people are ready to invest money, starting with another sum of money, just 5,000.
Okay. So when you say for 1 month, Kirill, does that mean that have you already decided?
2 months. 2 months. Honestly, it will be 2 months, because we start only now with our cards. Only about 500 cards going to card holders. So next month they will use it, they will speak about it, they will show it in their stories, Instagram or Facebook.
Kirill, I'm waiting for my card next week. Я тоже на следующей неделе жду свою карту, поэтому...
Все, крутяк. Вот. И, соответственно, only 500. So I think that it will take us 3 months that we use the price $1,000 for the index CTI. So you are not first to talk about it.
You're not what?
You are not first to talk about it. Talk about the price of 5,000.
Not first time we are discussing, but the date is not set. But he say approximately in 3 months.
I think about 3 months. About 3 months.
Okay.
To rise the price or not to rise, because Все, Юль, я запутался. Короче, в условиях кризиса я думаю, что ценность этой 1000, то есть она повысится. То есть если мы хотели как раз, она и будет, наверное, отсекающим моментом для инвестора, что люди будут переберегать деньги. Может быть, мы действительно пока оставим, из-за того, что ситуация менялась.
Okay. So the idea, we should take into consideration the situation in the world, so that the crisis actually takes place, right? And COVID-19 will things like this. Anyway, Kirill says that $1,000 will be very like a honey for the majority of people. They would use this anyway. They would use this instrument in order to get money, but not for the true investors, real investors who would really, well, it would be like their cup of tea to invest $5,000 to start with 5,000, with 5 CDI, but not with 1,000.
Okay, I hear you, but I don't agree. I mean, but it depends what your business model is. If you're focusing if you're saying, well, we want to move away from CTIs or only pick very large investors, you need to be clear on that. Is that what you're saying, Kirill? That you only want to have your focus is going to be on cards, big investors. So you're not interested in capturing the smaller part of the market, if you like, with people who are putting in 1,000 in CTIs.
Я понимаю. Поэтому я и говорю, что я беру сейчас на себя 3 месяца на то, чтобы пока мы внедряем карты, посмотреть с динамикой и принять решение, поднимаем мы цену за индекс или не поднимаем. Что, по большому счету, когда начали обсуждать, у нас аналитики было мало. А сейчас у меня аналитики достаточно много, и мы видим, что на самом деле по 1000 не так уж и много народ заходит. Заходят все там 3-5 тысяч, 10 тысяч, 20 тысяч долларов. То есть, по сути, мы свою идею, мы думали, что очень большое число людей с минимальной суммой заходит, а выяснилось, что и это примерно половина людей заходит на сумму больше, чем 1000. Поэтому вот эти убеждения мы также пересматриваем.
Kirill says
3 месяца на то, чтобы принять решение окончательное.
Kirill says that right now this is the starting point when they use cards and they face new and new analytical things. They take into consideration many things that actually reveal every day with the introduction of the cards. And he says that firstly they thought that the number of people would be not that big, the people who are ready to invest $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. But actually the idea is that half of people are ready to invest more than $3,000 or $5,000. So that's why.
Поэтому через 3 месяца я только вернусь к этому вопросу.
He says that only after 3 months, taking into account everything, the work of this period, he will be ready to answer your questions.
So, okay, so you're going to make an assessment during the next 3 months while you're trying out the cards, learning from the response that you get from your customers. But
вполне возможно, что мы оставим и то, и другое, потому что 2 разные стратегии, 2 разные модели капитала.
He says that actually these two strategies, they do not interact, they do not actually they exist like 2 separate strategies, and they're quite useful, and they consider that these 2 strategies will be in work.
Okay. But at the moment, Kirill, do you have a projection? What is your expectation in 3 months' time? Let's say the cards are going really well, right? And in 3 months' time, if the cards are going well, will you say, okay, we will now increase the minimum of CTI to be 5,000? Is that your plan?
И по сути, какие вот ожидания, да, что, допустим, карты, да, действительно, все работает, все прекрасно, работа на высшем уровне, ожидания твои, собственно, каковы?
Ожидания
самые лучшие, да?
Ожидания лучший способ испортить себе жизнь, вот, потому что никто не ожидал ни коронавируса, ни кризиса, поэтому я наслаждаюсь процессом, меня устраивает любой результат.
He said that expectations actually is not the model to follow. He says that it would be it's really nice when people enjoy the process, but not live in their expectations.
Я не понимаю.
Well, he says that you are asking about expectations.
Any expectation is the best way to destroy your life and destroy your mind. Because,
okay.
So I have no expectations. I have only the aim to build my town, my own towns of startups in biotechnology. So I need $300 billion to create my fund that will build my town. So you don't mind what money from what country it will be, what money of what country will be in my fund. If you have an idea to make your future using my company, so you can do it. So you say to me, I need your index price 1,000, and I'll create you 1,000 customers. I say, okay, Gary. Yeah, or you say to me, I need the price for 1,000, and I create you 100 customers. I say you, okay, I need your aim, and when you make it with your opportunities, with your energy, with your amount of energy, so I will like any results from you. So I have no expectation.
Okay, that's a better conversation.
I want high motivated people.
You want to what?
I need high motivated people.
Highly motivated people. Yeah.
Highly motivated, yes. Highly motivated, yes. Because they know what they want in their own life and use my company for their own life.
Okay. Well, let me respond to that then. So when I look at a company and I see that the minimum starting point is 1,000, that's the minimum. That excludes maybe half of all my audience. So half of my audience are maybe from Africa, Indonesia, countries where the wages are low. So 1,000 is too small for them. Okay. If you have
small or too big?
I'm sorry, too big.
Too small?
Too big.
Too big.
Yeah, извините.
Он exclude, это значит, он как бы исключается, да, то есть половина его сектора.
Я понял, да. Потихоньку это реанимируется мозг.
So having an option, if it was possible to have an option for a lower entry point, a smaller minimum, that works for, that would bring in a lot of people. At the $1,000 mark, at $1,000 entry point, that opens up to maybe half of my audience, right? People who've got more money. But the people who've got more money may take longer to decide, because a guy who has maybe $100,000 to invest, he's going to be careful, right? He didn't magically get his $1,000. He's got his $1,000 or his $100,000. So he's going to be careful how he spends it. So he tests something out. He tries it. If the entry point is 1,000, okay, he needs to see some evidence. So he sees the CEO. He sees evidence of trading. So he goes, okay, I'll try this. He tries it for 1 month. He sees the results are very good. He goes, right, now I'll increase it to 10,000, 20,000. After 2 or 3 months, he goes, this is great. I'm all in. So he puts in whatever he can afford to put in. If the starting point is 5,000, most people won't even try it. Even if you think, you might say, well, they're not serious investors, because why wouldn't they just put 5,000 or 10,000 on the table? Most people with money are careful with money, so they want to test something out at a risk level that is acceptable to them. 5,000.
I agree. Absolutely.
5,000, in my opinion, is not an acceptable risk level just to throw away on a try.
I heard you. I understand. So it take me 3 months to make a new decision about the amount. Because if you said about Indonesia, about Malaysia, so I speak with investors from these countries. They, in contrary, told me that it is too little amount for them. So it depends on with whom you talk.
Yes.
What level of income have this man? So how I can think? If I have a customer with $100, so it is his risk level. Yes.
Yes.
His risk level. So he risk about his risk is 100. So what is the life of this man? First of all, he think about how to сохранить.
To save.
How to save this 100. Not to earn money, but to save.
Yeah.
It is not the same to that I make some risk decision in my life. So I think I'm afraid of that these people will disappointed with their investment because they always ask how my investment works. Do you have traders? Do you have some guarantee? How can you save my money? How can I take my money back? So they feel nervous and make nervous my company, my staff. Because it is not the same people that whose level risk is 1,000. So the decision, my decision and my position in this item is 1,000 is the risk level of the investors who have this money and who have less nervous about their money. Then the people who have 100 can risk and will don't work to risk my company. So they only can invest and forget about it. I need people who can invest 1,000 and these people can work because they have this money, so they can earn this money, so they have some management skills to create themselves and their
surrounding.
Their surrounding. They can involve their surrounding to create business. So the idea was to separate the people who can invest and wait. So I need people who can invest and work.
Can I add something? Kirill, sorry. The thing, like a simple, I can explain you, is he wants to separate, like the small investor with the small minds, thinking, who stress so much and asking over and over stupid questions, and they are around $1,000 US. They're the most stressful. A person who has like a 3,000, 5,000, he knows what is the risk. So he come in and he asks less questions, he understands the risk, he just invests, and he's happy, This is what he means. He wants to separate small mind, investors and.
Thank you. So I want to add.
when the people with small risk level ask me a question, I answer them. Say that they said, yes, I understand, but you don't understand. He say, yes, I understand, and ask it the question again, and ask the question again and again. So he don't want to know. Our risk model, our math in accounting, our trading. So they want only to know 100. I have $1. 100. I have $1. How this dollar creates, how it earns. He don't understand it. So it is hard for my staff to explain.
Yeah. Okay.
Item by item.
So
it is why $1,000 is the price of one index.
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
But what do you think about the idea? We can make. We have an idea. A month ago, we discussed the idea of the CTI2. It is CTI1. We want to create CTI2 just with ideas. The price 100. CTI2 with price 100, but less income. But with less income.
Yeah, hard to show.
So we paid not every day. We paid one a week. At the end of the week, and half of income of the CTI1. So if CTI1 earned 1%, so the CTI2 earn half of 1%.
I think that's a very attractive option, a very good option. But going back
to an idea. If you say that it's a good idea, and you say so. This idea will create 1,000 and 10,000 customers who can earn money and invest in one CTI1. So let's create this strategy.
I do.
For you personally for you or for your country.
Yeah,
for your audience.
Yeah, for my audience,
Sorry.
I think CTI2 with how you described, I think that's a very good option, a good strategy. But what I don't understand is your original your problem with the low income the smaller investors with lower risk level is that they will create a difficulty with your support because they're not as okay. So why would you?
It was that why that it was only idea, not a decision.
But that problem is going to exist with the CTI2.
I understand. So first we have an idea to create CTI2. Then we create future. We're modeling the future behavior of the customers of this CTI2, and we understand that we'll ask too much questions, not clever questions. After questioning, not understanding what we tell, and feel very nervous. So we decide that not to start this idea.
Okay.
But we have an idea because it has. We only discuss this idea.
Okay.
That's why.
So change. Anytime we make a change for the customers, it can be. Customers don't like change, okay? So when I heard that you were changing from 1,000 to 5,000, for example, I got very nervous, right? I didn't like that at all, because I'm selling to my audience this idea. Look, 1,000. This is where we start. Test it out. If you like it, we can then expand from there. Now, if I thought that in 3 months' time, you were to make a change and say, actually, now it's 5,000. When you make that change, the details of how you make the change are very important. When you make the change, what happens existing customers? And the same question for if you had this idea with CTI2, where you realized after 3 or 4 months, wow, my support is going crazy. This is so difficult to manage. It's costing me a lot of money. How would you make the change? How would you stop the CTI2? How would the customers? What would happen for the customers?
I have no idea because we have no plan, have no decisions.
What?
So you make me sure that I will think it again with my partners, with my yesterday partners. You see it on the stream.
Yeah.
And we create new decision. Maybe for English-speaking countries, for English-speaking customers, maybe because I understand that in India, in Pakistan, in many countries are more poor people
Yes.
than in Russia. So I understand it, but I have no idea to create an opportunities for the customers. I have an idea to create an opportunity for me.
Yes.
And I understand that I have the audience who can who make my idea in real life. So if it will be enough people with 1,000, it will satisfy me.
Okay.
So we can think about it, but it is not the priority task. It's not a priority task.
Basic task.
Not a basic task.
Sorry, what's not a basic task? The change of the price?
No. Changing the price is not basic task. Changing the price is
The idea to separate
the main
investors
idea
from the customers.
The main idea of changing the price to create more qualified investors.
Okay. All right. Fine.
To attract more qualified and separate the investors even with 1,000. Maybe it is my ego. Maybe I also understand it, but I really think that the big opportunities are in crypto bank and cashback cards.
Okay.
So, but you're also right that in the moment it's not a project at the moment. So we can work on with indexes and maybe with tokens, with blockchain tokens.
Okay. So can I just talk about the change? This is how I was recently in a different company, where I thought everything was great. They were very transparent, very honest company. Then they realized there was a problem and they made a change. The change that they made didn't benefit the customers, it only benefited the company. And they didn't give the customers a choice. So they made a change and then the customers had to go with this. That caused a big problem for me. So I need to know, so for example, let's say with CTIs, in 3 months' time, you sit down, you have a meeting, you look at the information and you say, we need to move to 5,000. If the change is managed with, so the customers are, so let's say I as a customer, I join and I put in my 1,000 and I'm very happy. In 3 months' time, there's a change in the company. If I'm given the choice, you know what, we're not going to force anything negative on you. If you want to leave, we will give you a full refund. Your money is safe, off you go, because we're changing the system now. We're changing the concept. If you want to come with us, you need to pay another 4,000, so it's 5, but you can go and there'll be no negative problems for you. Is that the way you would manage it, or something different?
Да, давайте. В общем, он говорит о том, что совсем недавно у него был опыт работы с одной компанией. Компания очень честно вела свою работу, очень транспарентно, да, то есть все это можно было отследить. Но, к сожалению, возникли кое-какие обстоятельства, которые не сыграли на руку потребителям этой компании. То есть руководство компании приняло для себя решение независимо от потребителей, да, в свою пользу. То есть люди остались не очень счастливы, допустим. И вот он говорит о том, что, допустим, по истечению 3 месяцев, да, люди, которые вложили 1000 рублей, вы в итоге приходите все равно к такому выводу, да, они при этом очень счастливы, потребитель вложил свою 1000, все хорошо. Но по истечению 3 месяцев вы все-таки принимаете решение, нет, мы движемся к совсем другому порогу, да, это должны быть 5000. То есть таким образом люди должны будут вложить еще 4, да,
еще 4. Нет, не надо что-то вкладывать. То есть те люди, которые сделали собственную инвестицию в доллар, эти обязательства компания выполняет до тех пор, пока они сами эти деньги не заберут. Других вариантов здесь нет, естественно. Не надо ничего добирать.
Да, он еще сделал акцент на том, что, например, потребители должны будут быть спокойны в том, что компания будет готова сделать полный рефанд, да, то есть все деньги, показать, что вот они все на месте, все хорошо. То есть просто ему нужно объяснить, что не нужно будет докладывать, да, если человек сейчас принимает решение попробовать, по истечению 3 месяцев, допустим, когда порог будет 5, да, то есть он понял, да, его идея в том, что ему нужно будет убедить инвесторов поднять их индексы, да, до 5.
Нет, смотри, вот они сейчас купили индекс по 1000, а просто следующий покупка будет 5000, если мы примем решение, что так.
Да. Это для нового.
А все, что куплено, все, что работает, это все обязательства выполнять без вообще безоговорочно, не обсуждается. Ничего там другого не надо.
Actually, the idea is that people coming into entering the company, they invest $1,000, and after a 3 months period, they will not have to pay $4,000 more because they are the customers already, and there is no problem. They continue their cooperation with the company, having $1,000 in their account.
Okay, so nothing changes for them, for
Nothing
existing
changes
customers.
for the
Nothing changes.
for
No,
the
no, no, no.
existing.
Okay.
Nothing changes.
All right.
For existing customers,
Okay, so that's good. Let me just go back to a couple of. I've got 3 points to make. So, when I really like Finiko. I like what you're doing. I like the profits that you can make. And I think that we can create a huge business from this. There are so many bad companies out there that are collecting millions of dollars. The fact that you've got licenses in Estonia, the fact that you've been around for a long time, there are so many strong points about your company. We could make this huge in the West, especially in the English-speaking countries. But a lot of factors.
English-speaking audience.
Yes, English-speaking audience.
Он вообще говорит о Западе, о том, что он хотел, что это очень, да, что западная часть.
But there, if at some later point there was a change, and there was and it had a negative impact on the customers, that can have a terrible effect on the business. People will lose confidence. So it's very important that the change is managed in a positive way. And I think you're saying that. So I think in terms of the packages. So right now you've got CTI. CTI 2, CTI 3, CTI 3 could be for larger investors, whatever. Having multiple options that allow for the different risk levels and the different like poor countries, I think is a great option. You could dominate the market. You could dominate the crypto market. Most companies in the crypto space don't last 2 months, 3 months. They're gone. If you want to be around for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever length of time, and build a huge company, you will have a massive following from these people who start off small. They will grow. They will expand. But just to your earlier point about it creating a big support problem. Sorry, did you want to translate anything, or should I continue with the next point?
Да, нужно перевести.
Да, потому что это я уже...
Так, он сказал, да, о том, что он очень, компания относится очень позитивно, она вызывает у него крайне положительные эмоции от того, что достаточно большой, он видит большие перспективы в этом, да, он отметил, что, лицензии, да, которые имеет компания Эстонии, то, что большие планы по завоеванию Запада и англоговорящего населения, да, но говорит о том, что есть момент негативный, да, в плане потребителей, которые нужно максимально снизить, да, и направить его только в позитивное русло. С чем это связано? С тем, что каждый видит в этом свой профит, да, то есть момент для развития, вот, о том, что множественные программы, да, по пакетам CTI-1, CTI-2 позволяют, таким образом позволят, какой плюс, доминировать в криптомире. Что это значит? Что те компании, которые на сегодняшний день существуют на рынке, к сожалению, динамика их не очень хороша, потому что они живут 2-3 месяца и схлапываются, да, потом. Он говорит о том, что компания Finiko вызывает у него большое доверие, и он хотел бы, чтобы с помощью Finiko люди росли и расширяли, да, свои возможности. Это вот такой момент, который он отметил как положительный, позитивный.
Меня сегодня отметили на Инстаграме клиенты, первые, которые знают, что мы компании Finiko начали делать в 2018 году. Первые, мы вообще делали это все без сайта, и вот так примерно это выглядело. 2018 год, бизнес на салфетке, 2020
So
год,
this is
регулярная компания.
2018. And Kirill says that his followers
My first customer,
first customers, I'm sorry, liked him in Instagram while showing this photo.
They
Cool.
have a picture. They took a picture that I speak with them, not in the internet, but in the table.
In the office.
Yes.
In the office. Business салфетки получается.
Great.
Business napkin. They called it business napkin. 2018.
And was this the start of Finiko?
Это было начальным пунктом.
The first, yes, it was that. My first steps.
First step.
Like Finiko.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make that my last point was about support. At the moment, my experience with Finiko in the first few weeks was I found it very difficult to get answers from Finiko. The support I didn't think was very good. Now I'm an English speaking person, so obviously that is one problem. It took me a long time only because I'm persistent and I don't give up. That's the only reason I ended up getting answers. And I managed...
Highly motivated people.
Pardon?
Highly motivated people.
Yeah. But so the reason I make the videos that I do, trying to explain things to people, is so that they don't have to ask questions. If I've run companies before, software companies, where we looked at the type of questions that we were getting in every week. When we had the same question asked more than 3 or 4 times, we created a little video about it. We created an FAQ, a frequently asked questions. We put information on the website. So all the questions that people ask, the reason they ask them is because they didn't understand the first answer, or there wasn't an answer in the first place. A lot of the questions that you answer repeatedly, you could do one great explanation of each of those questions, each of those issues, have it translated into multiple languages, and put out there as on the website. So you have a like a Wikipedia, like an information part of your website dedicated.
Absolutely agree.
Okay. So that will reduce the support. Yeah, that's the main point I wanted to make.
Like Q&A, like a questions answered. We can add like a.
Yeah.
You mean?
Yes. Well, what I would like to see. I mean, what would be the session that you had yesterday, the live stream, fantastic. I love the transparency of that. But it's very hard to, as an English speaker, I don't really know what was being said. So, very important meetings like that, if it was possible to get translations, that would be awesome. Or a cut down version, the main points of those things to collect and present to the English audience. When I'm trying to show my audience Finiko, they want to know, well, who is Kirill? Who is Edward? Who is Zygmunt? You know, are they real people? They want a little bit of background information. All of these things you can do once. One video on each person, like a profile. This is me. This is what I do. This is my past. Here's some, you know, here I'm a trader. This is my trading room here. This is my history. These are the mistakes I made. These are the victories I had. Real things about real people, not rubbish things, but just solid information. Anyone asks a question, here's the information. Go to this video. These videos, these pieces of information, we can be presenting these to our customers on a regular basis. Let me introduce you to Finiko. This is the company. This is the owner. These are the traders. Here's the evidence.
Okay. Can we make a stream on the English for the English audience? We are ready to do it next week.
Brilliant.
Maybe,
Absolutely.
Okay, no problem. We can create it. We can make some translators. Maybe several words will say it myself. Several words we translate, and let's create a big idea for your audience.
Great.
I'm ready to do it.
Да, Кирилл, он сказал, что, например, когда идет стрим, да, это очень круто, ему понравилось, да, но проблема в том, что он, ну, все это не на английском, да, на русском, и он говорит, когда вы делаете нарезку потом из самых вот важных таких моментов, аспектов, да, то он вот именно вот эту нарезку, да, чтобы это было...
Она будет, более того, мы вообще запланировали первое мероприятие где-нибудь в Европе сделать. Непонятно где, но просто задумали и отодвинули куда-то. Сейчас у нас сейчас появляется немецкое...
A great event somewhere in Europe, but well, taking into consideration the world, it's difficult to do right now.
Sure. Can it be London?
So we can. My wife went to London to 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
3 weeks ago.
Away. 3 weeks, not week. 3 months away, and then. Беременная, забыл слово.
Pregnant.
Congratulations.
So I have a son of 2 months.
All right.
So my son traveled around the world with my wife.
Okay.
So I really have a visa to London, but don't work there.
Okay. Well.
So let's create a conference. I'm sorry because I need to speak next meeting. Have a next meeting.
Yeah.
So I understand about the price. It's, I had you. So I will think it again, and 3 months at least it will be 1,000. So if we rise, if we realize rise, we have to create an opportunity to invest less sum. Or we
well, otherwise everything will be left without any changes.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Now,
so you can create a date of in the next week that the four partners, we will speak with your audience.
Brilliant.
Maybe and we'll create some another audience that we will already have.
Brilliant. Yeah. Спасибо.
Wednesday.
Wednesday's great.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say?
Because
can I just say one thing? When I'm going out trying to build this Finiko on to the English speaking audience, I'm doing it in my mind with the idea that this is as it is. It's 1,000. This is the compensation plan. 10 levels. That's what I'm selling. That's what I'm driving out there. So it would be very difficult if that changed. So I appreciate you say you're going to think about it, but in my head, I don't want it to change. I want that to stay the same, and we drive that as hard as we can and see what we can produce.
I understand.
Okay, so in my head, I'm not going to.
I understand why it is in your hands. It was the best decision. It was a lovely decision to create a company with increasing income based on trading. So that's why it's my lovely, product.
Yes.
Index today.
Okay.
I understand why do you like it, because I've said about the customer first when I create this product.
Brilliant. So thank you very much. That's all the things I wanted to talk about. Did you want to ask anything about me or anything?
Хотели бы что-то, да, лично спросить?
I don't like the прошлое, да?
Past. Прошлое.
I don't like the past. I like futures and present. So I like your speaking.
Okay.
I like your energy. It is enough for me.
Great, thank you.
Because our history is not about our victory, our future victory.
Okay. Vladislav, did you want?
That don't mean that I'm not interested in you. So I like the math. I like the energy. I like the plans. I like the ambitions. Yes. So it's not for me.
Okay.
The future will show. Right.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Vladislav, did you want to say anything?
Actually, I'm satisfied with everything, and I hope you're satisfied, because this was the most important for me.
I really am.
Get the things clear.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Igor, did you want to say anything?
Я за любые изменения в компании, но главное, чтобы они были в лучшую сторону.
Да, я тоже согласна.
Okay, thanks everybody.
So all the participants agree with the idea, so everybody enjoys.
Brilliant.
the communication, the discussion in general.
Brilliant. Just one final thing. I record. I always record everything. Okay, but this discussion went in lots of different directions. Are you comfortable with me to share this with my audience, or would you rather it be?
Okay, you can use it.
Great.
Anyway.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Я скажу можно еще слово.
Да.
Когда я познакомился с Кириллом в первый раз, это практически год назад был, встретился с ним, пообщался.
Igor says when he got acquainted with Kirill.
И после этой встречи у меня прям сразу сердце ёкнуло, душа полностью отдалась Кириллу в плане того, что этот человек создает очень много постоянно на исходящем потоке.
He just felt this energy, and he enjoyed the cooperation with Kirill.
Я принял решение для себя, что я с этим человеком буду двигаться по его дороге, пока я и мы живы вместе.
As far as his life goes.
Great.
On and on.
That's a nice testimonial.
Все, что он делает, он создает только для людей, ради людей, и для того, чтобы их качество жизни улучшалось.
Kirill wants to make the quality of life of people better. So he he's interested in this very process.
Great.
Таких людей я лично не встречал в сетевом бизнесе и в...
He says that Kirill is absolutely unique.
За много лет.
He's absolutely unique person in this sphere.
Я еще вообще в этом чате тоже нахожусь.
Kirill says, well, I'm here, guys. I do listen everything.
Well, that's very nice that you can speak so generously and openly, Igor, about Kirill. That's brilliant to hear. Well done. Okay. Thank you. And Yulia, thank you very much for your translation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right.
Всем спасибо большое. Да,
Yeah.
потом обратно связь.
Увидимся.
Я
Всем спасибо. Спасибо, Кирилл. Пришло время.
Пока.
Goodbye. Goodbye.